Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 best fast Imperial civilizations in Age of Empires 2. If you guys are not familiar with what fast Imperial Age is referring to, it simply is a strategy that revolves around rushing to the last age of the game as quickly as possible, the Imperial Age. The upsides of the strategy is that you get access to the strongest tech and units in the game, something like gunpowder, arbalest with bracer and chemistry, and Imperial Age monks come to mind, and those are your most popular options. The downsides though is that you have less economy because you're rushing through the ages so quickly, not actually developing your economy and getting out extra town centers for more villager production. So you have less economy, like way less economy, but you have access to strong tech right away, and the goal is to push your opponent as fast as possible to either end the game or do enough damage that you're now on equal footing in terms of economy, and then the game can continue from there. Certain civilizations can't really do a fast Imperial Age properly because they don't really get access to strong units without them costing too much to either make or upgrade. Like for example, the Persians can't really access any of their strong units because, you can't really go Savar with little economy. Persian war elephants off the table. They don't get access to bracer, so the best thing you have is something like chemistry, which takes a while, and then going for gunpowder. But other civs just do that way better. So that's an example of a civ that does not want to go for a fast Imperial. And with all that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the top 5 best fast Imperial civilizations in Age of Empires 2. Starting off the list at number 5, we've got the Bohemians. And actually, I just want to say, I think you're not going to guess the number 1 civ on this list, by the way. I think it's really hard to guess. So starting off at number 5, we've got the Bohemians. I think the civ is absolutely fantastic when it comes to the fast imp for a few reasons. Number 1, you get really good economy for fast imp. You get access to all gold and stone mining upgrades for free. So you get both stone and both gold upgrades right off the bat for free upon hitting Feudal Age and Castle Age. This fuels your economy and lets you get to Imperial Age as quickly as possible. And in Imperial Age, you just want minerals. You don't really want food and wood. You don't need that much of it. You need a lot of gold and stone to be able to end the game quickly. You also don't care if you burn through your gold and stone too fast because you're trying to end the game as quick as possible. So running out of minerals is not really a concern. You want to just burn through it and look for a win. It doesn't really matter about thinking about the future or trying to preserve it for a strong late game. There's no such thing as late game. We're going for a fast imp. We're going for the kill. And on top of the smooth economy, you also have really good options with Bohemians. You get access to really strong monks with the gold economy behind it. You can actually monk rush the crap out of your opponent. You get access to chemistry in Castle Age, which lets you get it on the way up, so you get instant access to bomber cannon and hand cannoneer in Imperial Age, which is a really nice boost and a really nice push for that Imperial Age power spike. And then to top it all off, you have Hussite wagons, which is one of the most stubborn units to support your push in the entire game. That thing is so tanky, it goes so well with the siege push, and if you can secure a forward castle to make trebs and Hussite wagons to follow up with your cannons, you're going to be basically unstoppable in a lot of situations. So the Bohemians for me are definitely worthy of number 5. Not the craziest fast imp civ, but definitely a very solid one. Moving on to number 4, we've got the Italians. The Italians have a really nice fast imp because they've got the economy behind it through upgrading to the different ages. So you get a discount on every age upgrade. So going from Dark Age to Feudal Age, you're saving a little bit, Feudal Age to Castle Age, and then Castle Age to Imperial Age. But it's not just the economy. They also get really good bonuses in Imperial Age. For example, their university technologies cost 33% less, so picking up chemistry is going to come at a little bit of a discount as well. Their gunpowder units are also 20% cheaper, which makes it a lot easier to get hand cannon and bomber cannon out on the field. And on top of that, they have their unique unit, or I guess their team bonus unique unit, the Condottiero, which is available at the barracks in Imperial Age. And the Condottiero is actually a very reasonable early imp unit, so you can go fast in with Italians, and you've got reasonably 3 options. You have hand cannon, bomber cannon, you have arbalest with bracer and chemistry, and you also have Condottiero available to you. And if you want to add on a 4th option, you can easily just monks, like monk rush and imp with Italians. You've got most of the tech available to you, the important tech at least, so going for a monk rush could be very good. You can mix these strategies and go Condottiero plus monks for a very strong fast imp push that not a lot of civs can beat. And behind that, you get obviously the discounts on every age, so it's just a little bit easier to do. The Italians are a fantastic fast Imperial Age civilization, and I think you can pull it off on a variety of different maps and a variety of different settings, just based on how versatile your tech tree actually is. Moving on to number 3, this civ naturally goes fast imp, but you do it in a weird way. The civ is melee. Melee is naturally getting to imp faster than your opponent simply because of their bonus that lets them advance to the next age 66% faster. This means that they can get a fast imp, whereas other civs would just be like a good minute or two behind by default without the melee actually sacrificing any economy. However, if you go a step further and you go for a nice feudal age boom, so an extended feudal with melee, and then you turn that into a fast imp directly without adding town centers and castle age, you can get a really fast imperial age time whilst also having a pretty reasonable economy because you went for a feudal age boom where you established a good amount of farms in feudal age. And then to combine that, you have really good options in imp. To begin, melee get really cheap elephants, so if you want to go for like elephants plus something else in imp, it's definitely possible, but that's their weakest option. Their best option is actually the karambit warrior or the halberdier, because melee get free infantry armor upgrades as they advance through the ages, so you can get karambits with full armor for free in Imperial Age, which is absolutely crazy and a really strong approach to a fast imp strategy. On top of that, you get most of the monk techs that you're going to need. You get Arbalest with bracer and chemistry as a main option as well, and you get access to bombard cannons if you need them. So overall, the melee just have all the tools you need for a fast imp, and one of their best comps in Imperial Age is halberdier plus monk plus treb. If you can get to that composition quicker than your opponents in imp, there's not a single castle age composition that actually beats that army. So if your opponent is trying to go all in castle age, he will fail like 99% of the time because that comp is just way too efficient and way too easy to get to as the melee, and you're going to put so much pressure on an opponent that they're not going to be able to respond to you in time, and they're going to get snowballed out of the game. Moving on to number 2, we have the civ that I think will be what most people classify as number 1, and that is the Turks. Now, it might be a bit more obvious what the number 1 is, if you can really think about it. Try to guess, why not? But the Turks are a very, very nice civilization. They are close to being number 1 on the list, very strong fast imp. In fact, when you think of fast Imperial, I think you do think of Turks for the most part. It's probably the best conventional fast imp civ in the game, because you just go up to, imp quickly, you go for your hand cannoneer, bombard cannon, you get chemistry for free, you get a nice gold mining bonus that helps you out, and you get extra HP on your gunpowder units. What's there not to love? It's a very good strategy, very easy to execute, and it's honestly just a really powerful push. Turks are also the only civ in the game that can do it while massing a unique unit, so via Janissary. So if you want to get a castle to secure your base, you can just get a castle, go Janissary, and still fast imp afterwards. So you can get Janissary bombard cannon instead of hand cannon bombard cannon. Both are good approaches, but in my opinion, the hand cannon push is a little bit stronger, but the Janissary approach is a little bit safer because you have that castle to defend yourself. Either way, your push is going to be fueled by your bombard cannons that come out instantly because of the free chemistry, and from there you can even add in some hussars because you get hussar tech for free, which also get a free +1 pierce armor. So as you can see, it's free. Turks get everything handed to them. It's like the privileged child that doesn't have to work for anything. You just get the Imperial Age and everything's there for you and there to push and to oppress your opponent who's probably just stuck in castle age and begging for his life. The Turks are a fantastic fast imp civilization and definitely something I recommend you guys try on the ladder if you want to have some fun and beat some nerds on arena. If you're looking to do the Turk fast imp, you can also check out my Patreon because I have a build order PDF that's color coded and helps you do the strategy, as well as a video showing you guys how to do the strategy in practice. So all the information is there if you guys are interested in trying it out for yourself at a very high level. Before I show you guys number 1, I want to talk through some honorable mentions. I've got 2 on the list. So the first one is the Byzantines. They're a nice honorable mention because they have a nice 33% discount on Imperial Age, and so it's usually easy to sneak in a fast imp while just playing a normal game as the Byzantine. The only downside to it though is I don't think you have the strongest units in early imp. I mean, you do get cheap skirmishers, which are nice, so in that situation it's probably the best fast imp into skirmisher civ, but that strategy is not that powerful. You get nice access to monks with good tech, and you do get Arbalest, which is always an option. So you have some decent options in imp, but nothing too special as far as like gunpowder goes. You have the tech, you could go hand cannon, bombard cannon, but nothing special, no bonuses there whatsoever. And so for me, Byzantine is just that kind of civ that you could go fast imp, it's nice, it's decent, but not too special. So it just misses out on my list. But I do think, especially in like Arabia scenarios where you're just going for a 2 TC boom, you could go for a faster imp than your opponent and oppress him with the cheap skirmishers and maybe some Arbalest in case he's on knights or whatnot. So still a good option for a fast imp civ, just not one of the top tier ones. And then lastly, for the honorable mention, I also have the Vikings. The Vikings are very unique on this list because I think it's the only civ here that can fast imp without having to go for the strategy to begin with. I think you can go for a standard 3 TC boom with the Vikings, play out a normal castle age, and then you can also just randomly decide to fast imp afterwards because you have such an insane economy with the free hand cart. So like you can just get to Imperial Age quicker than your opponent whilst also having a good economy to back it up. So going Arbalest plus Bracer, Chemistry, all the good stuff is a real possibility with the Vikings. The only downside though is that to get really strong Arbalest, you need a unique tech, which is very expensive. It costs an arm and a leg. So it's really just not worth going for that route. So just regular Arbalest, Chemistry, Bracer, no Thumb Ring is the best you're going to get with a fast imp with the Vikings, but that's still a pretty decent option. And you can build it up into a pikeman transition or some, forward castle treb ideas to finish off the game. And lastly, at number 1, which I do think is pretty obvious after we've seen the Turks at number 2, and this is the Portuguese. In my opinion, the Portuguese have the most powerful fast imp strategy in the game, and it's by far the strategy that has the highest ceiling, like the most potential that you can get from the strategy. And the reason is the Feitiçarias. The Feitiçarias are absolutely insane. It's the only civ in the game that can go fast imp, launch a push using their very strong options, which we're going to talk about, and then catch up in economy by spamming Feitiçarias and getting a fake economy that's actually better than a real economy because it's infinite access to gold and stone, albeit at a slow trickle, but it still adds up if you get to 4, 5, and even 6 Feitiçarias. First, let's talk about the Portuguese options though. You have access to everything, all at a 20% discount, all their gold units 20% off, and remember with fast imp we always want to do gold units because we can't afford food and wood units. We don't have the economy for that to spam them out. And so you have monks with really good tech, you've got Cavalier at a discount. If you can squeeze in some Feitiçarias, Cavalier becomes an option, but usually you're going to go for their Organ Gun or Arbalest, and those are the two main strategies after the fast imp if monks is not the way to go. You get access to bombard cannons with siege engineers, as well as arquebus that gives them ballistics for the gunpowder. Hand cannoneer is also affected by that, and so is the Organ Gun. All of these units at a 20% discount just makes for a really nice and smooth gameplay in Imperial Age with the Portuguese. You also get a really nice economy transition to get there. Having a nice berry bonus in the early game lets you get off to a really nice start and potentially propels you to a nice fast imp where you can take advantage of all those sweet discounts. But really what separates the Portuguese from the rest of the civs on this list are not their options, not their units. It's the Feitiçaria that I think is absolutely insane. You just drop 4 or 5 of those guys. It takes up like 100 pop, but it's basically the equivalent of having a 60 or 70 vil economy that's working perfectly efficiently and never stops working. It's also very hard to counterplay the Feitiçarias because if your opponent is not able to kill them, they will gather resources infinitely. And that's such a strong concept. If you combo that with some kind of monk rush and you go for like fast imp, a lot of monks, Feitiçarias behind, you can transition to some of the most powerful units in the game, like Cavalier, Arquebus, Organ Guns, with bombard cannons behind them. You can even start spamming bombard towers because you have infinite stone. It's absolutely insane. I just love the Portuguese fast imp, and I do think it's the best fast Imperial Age strategy in the game at the moment. Alright, that's gonna do it for this video. Guys, I haven't done this series in a long time, and that's because I ran out of ideas. So if you guys have any ideas, drop them in the comments below, and I'm gonna go ahead and pin the top comment, the one with the most likes. I'm gonna pin it, and I'm gonna do that in the next top 5 video. So get creative, get me some top 5 ideas, and I'll do them in the next video, and hopefully we can start a chain of never-ending infinite content, so I can get rich and famous, minus the famous, because we're Age of Empires streamers at the end of the day. So I can just get rich off some YouTube ads and whatnot, and I can, I don't know, keep doing the same thing, because I'm not going anywhere. But anyway, get me the ideas so I can continue the series, because I like doing the series, but it's very hard for me to come up with ideas. And even this idea I got from a stream chatter. So as you can see, zero creativity, all monetization from my end. But anyway, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. Check me out on Patreon and Twitch if you guys want the live stream and the exclusive content via guides and whatnot. Both links in the description below. And as always, have a good rest of your day. See you guys in the next video. Peace.